Today, we're gonna be talking about the best 3 skins for every single gun in Valorant. These are my top 3 skins, and I already know the top comment will be something like, never let bro cook again. But you know what? It's my opinion, and for full clarity, the latest bundle as of the making of today's video is the Aura by One Tap. So I think we might get one more decent skin collection that won't be included in 2025, but with that being said, let's get straight into it. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be telling you my top 3 classics, and even if I don't own it, I will still count it. I stopped buying skins a long time ago, but it doesn't mean, for example, I don't like some of these skins that I don't own. It's not biased based off of what I own, it's what I genuinely think is the top 3 as of right now. Funny enough, my top 3 are definitely going to be controversial because I'm actually going to start with the Divergence Classic. I genuinely think the Divergence Classic is a clean classic. It's just something about it, and I am going to specify the default variant, but of course, as a whole, we'd count all the variants here. I think the finisher is really cool. I didn't absolutely love these skins when they first came out, but they've grown on me, and I think the classic, I don't know. I think it's clean, I think it's cool, and I don't think it's overused, which makes it a little bit more unique. Next is a classic I do own. The Prime Classic has made my list every single year, and I don't really care what anyone says. Look at that reload. It's also still clean, similar to... So I do like clean skins, so that might spoil some things. At least for the classic, I do like clean skins. And I have to say, till now, I don't think there's a better reload. There's so many better finishers, 100%. But you're talking about a clean reload, clean sound effects, and an okay finisher. Like, it's still good enough, but yeah, I know it's a little outdated now. Now, I was gonna put Zed in the last spot for the top 3, and I do like it. It's so clean, and I'm a little bit biased because I like the look of the clean classic, and I want to also say Spectrum. When it comes to Spectrum, it's the only skin that I still like from the whole Spectrum bundle is the classic, but I'm gonna place the Spectrum in runner up. It is showing its age a little. I still like it, and it's why I personally own it, of course, but I'm gonna leave it in the runner up. Instead, I'm giving the last 3rd spot for the top 3 classics as of 2025 to the Nocturnum Classic. Oh my god, Indie Company. I literally clicked it and it didn't come up. There you go. I think the Nocturnum Classic is really cool, and I don't see it used enough, bro. Some people are gonna hate me, but like, this is pretty good, bro. Like, I feel this is underused. Bro, this is so underused. I'm not gonna lie. This is so underused. I'm gonna get so much hate for my picks, but I don't care. I like them. I like them. Next up, we got the shorties. And I'm not gonna lie, the shorties are like... Not gonna lie, bro. It's pretty easy to pick my top 3 shorties. Let's just do it in like basically one take. So, first of all, we gotta give it to the Prelude to Chaos. Pretty freaking iconic shorty. Boom. And then that reload, man. That reload is so good. The Prelude to Chaos shorty is genuinely a good shorty, and it easily deserves top 3. No brainer. Didn't even have to think about it. That reload, boom! That reload, bro. That reload has heft to it. Now, it's going to be a little bit unpopular, but I'm going to give the next one to the Araxis shorty. I think it's nice. I personally like the Araxis shorty quite a lot. It just, to me, fits the shorty a lot. Like, it really looks like a little high-tech space weapon. And I don't know, to me, look at that, bro. It just makes the shorty look so different. And I like that. It makes the shorty look so different. So to me, Araxis shorty easily takes that spot. Now, there's only one more spot. We got the Bubbly Bub. We got the Primordium shorty. And we've got the Sentinels of Light. We've even got the Oni. Now, the Oni, in my opinion, is going to be the runner-up, but that's just because I like Oni. To me, it's clean, and to me, it has 4 gorgeous variants. But I won't give it its spot due to the lack of overall effects going on. And instead, I'm actually going to give it... This is going to be a shocker. I mean, you're seeing me hover it to the Primordium. Something about bassy, deep shorties, bro? Like, look at that thing, bro. Just look at that thing. It is so damn ugly. Psych, bro. Psych. I'm giving it to the Sentinels of Light. I think this is overall just a pretty clean shorty. Like, boom, boom. Nice sound effects. Boom, boom. I like it. Overall, I like it. But with that being said, the top two shorties being, you know, Prelude to Chaos and Araxis, to me beat like everything else so much, like by quite a lot. IMO. Next up, we got the Frenzies, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, the Frenzy actually has some heavy hitters. Starting with the Ion, like I think Ion overall, I like the Ion Vandal, for example, but I don't love the Ion as a whole collection. I wouldn't use it as a full collection, but I think the Frenzy, it looks nice. It's something about these high-tech weapons, like how I mentioned the Araxis, on these little guns that make them look really unique. They have to think outside the box on how they design them. I mean, just like look at it. I don't see this in game. I might even get hate for it. Maybe I feel like I'm picking stuff unpopular, but I don't exactly mean to. I just think this Frenzy looks really cool. Genuinely think it looks really, really cool. Next up, I'm actually going to give it to the Origin. Similar to the Ion, I don't go using Origin Vandal or much of Origin anything because of how loud they are. But you can see I actually own 2 variants here. And it's just something about the fact, again, maybe it's like this high tech, and it doesn't have as loud or of a bassy sound as the Vandal, which isn't as obnoxious, but it still has such a unique inspect. So you've got that cool little high tech weapon. The inspect pops up in your face, but without, you know, being overly large, similar to the Vandal. And I think that's cool. I personally like the Origin. This one's probably where it's going to get most disagreed on, but if I keep saying how much people are going to disagree, we'll be here 30 times longer than we need to. So instead, you know what I'm going to say? It's goated. I don't care what you guys think. It's goat. And honestly, if we're going to go based off of what's next, like I actually was considering putting Bolt as the runner up, and just because it is a little underrated, and I do think like some of these variants here do look pretty cool. Like if I look at the Bolt like this, it is really clean. So I want to put Bolt as the runner up because of how unique it is, in the sense of I'm starting to like skins that I guess people don't use as much. So I think the Bolt Frenzy is going to be runner-up / 3rd spot. I'm going to tie it with the Prime. The Prime is just more basic, and that's where it's losing some points. But it is hard to beat the fact, like, that reload is really, really cool, but it does look a little too speedy compared to the primary guns. So maybe okay, I shouldn't be super indecisive. I think that's not as cool. So I'll say Prime runner-up and Bolt taking the 3rd spot, just because it's more unique. And if you're using the Bolt, you're not going to come across as many people using it, which on its own is pretty cool. Man, the Ghosts have so many skins, dude. What we're going to start with is the boom! Phase Guard Ghost, my favorite ghost. I don't own it, but like I'm not oblivious to the fact that to me it's the absolute best ghost. And yes, the variants are all clean, 100%. But on top of that, we already know. We are boom, bro. Put on that suppressor, hold it angled. It's so cool. It's so clean. It is so clean. Like, easily the best ghost. Even the reload is just so clean. So 100% this is going in one of the 3 spots without a doubt. Now I did have to think about the other 2 quite a bit, but I do think I personally know where I want to put them. I want to follow it up with Zero Fang Ghost. I think the Zero Fang Ghost, all options are pretty decent. I like the default and the black variant the most, but like all options are really good here. I think it's a clean ghost, and the ghost benefits from looking clean. It's just something about the ghost to me that I suppose speaks to me when it's clean. I don't know, it just fits it. It's a ghost. You know, it's supposed to be kind of stealthy. So to me, this and this just fit those 2 so well. I will throw one in here that is very, very in your face. Some people would put Reaver, and I think that's a pretty okay one, but I'm actually going to put Ivori Dreamwings Ghost here. I think all of the variants are really in your face, very bright, very vibrant, but without, I don't know, they still managed to make it fit the ghost really well. And the sound effects, bro, is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I think it's good. I personally think it's a really good skin. Actually, I'm gonna put the runner-up as Valiant Hero because, again, similar to what I mentioned before, I wouldn't use Valiant Hero on much else. I don't really like all the other ones, but I think it's kind of underrated on a ghost. It's pretty underrated, and I think if you want a skin not many people use, here's your one. At least I think so. I think it's pretty clean. So those are my ghosts. Oh, we have so many sheriffs to go through, but you know what? We already know this is in the top 3, babe! Who's using this sheriff, bro? When it comes to the sheriffs, all of the ones I'm mentioning are actually none of the ones that I own. First of all, I hate the aura, so that's just not happening. But EXO is gonna take the 1st spot. I actually, like, there's some skins you're going to remember me even hating on if you've watched previous videos, but they come from a place of, let's say, price point. But EXO all colors actually look really nice. And to me, it also just feels good. It feels good to use. I've been able to use it before, and I think it's overall a pretty easy selection for me. And then following this, no one's going to be surprised. I'm going to go ahead and put Kuronami Sheriff in the next spot. I think Kuronami overall is actually overhyped, but the Sheriff particularly fits it really well. Like, I think it just looks nice. Sounds really good. And then, of course, as everyone knows... Bro, is it when they, like, use this map? When they use Fracture to show it off, I guess it's just... they know it's cooking. They just know it's cooking. 100% they know what's up. Oh my goodness. When it comes to the pullout, I think that's to me what makes Kuronami great, and it feels really good on the Sheriff. Now, the third spot's actually going to go to the Neo Frontier. That's so buggy. The Neo Frontier, actually, it's because I really like this default, and then you can upgrade it to really change how it looks, all while still having animations. So it's really for that reason that it's cool. Like, if you go to the level 2, that's really cool. It's just so clean. It's just so clean. And then, of course, you might be like, all right, I think that's a little boring. Well, you know what? You don't got to stay boring because, boom! Now you got a full-fledged, high-tech Neo Frontier. It's just cool. It's overall really, really cool, and I think it's a great Sheriff. Now, the runner-up is actually, so they made a perfect L here. Mist Bloom, in my opinion, is going to be runner-up. I think it's really fitting, and I think I might like Mist Bloom a little bit more than Kuronami, but I think logically speaking, Kuronami wins. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'd almost want a top 4, but instead I'll just consider it runner-up, and I'll put Mist Bloom. To me, it's super clean. I really like Mist Bloom as well. Honestly, Stinger, I don't want to waste too much time. I think Overdrive is one of them. I think Overdrive is unique, a little underused. I don't love the color collection, like color options, which is sort of what breaks it for me. But this Stinger right here, I think it's pretty nice. Prelude to Chaos is going to be the next one. I mean, it's pretty much like the best Stinger in the game, in my opinion. Of course, it's so iconic. Most people, if they're using a premium skin for the Stinger, ends up being the Prelude to Chaos. Last but not least, we do have a couple decent ones. RGX, Sovereign, both made it into here, and they're both okay, and they're both decent. And I think RGX 11Z Pro Stinger definitely wins out. This one though, man, it's so bad, bro. It's such a bad skin. Like, oh man, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of good Spectre skins. I think most of us know, but the Spectre gets so many skins. The Recon as a bundle, you know, I think it's fallen off overall, but there's two guns where it remains pretty prominent. One is the Phantom and one is the Spectre. Now, there's so many Phantom skins, you know, I'm not really saying it's going to be in that top 3, but there isn't as many Spectre skins, no matter how many there are. So I genuinely think the Spectre Recon's really good, and I actually don't see it used too much, which to me bumps it up just a little bit. Now, after the Recon, I'm personally going to give it to EXO. I mean, it's crazy because EXO has grown on me more than I expected, but it's hard to say this isn't clean, right? Like, to me, no matter which like colorway you choose, which is a big one, right? Whatever colorway you choose, it ends up looking really clean. And I do want to give the Protocol 781 the spot because I don't like Protocol in many other spots. But like it fits the Spectre so well. It ends up using, like, it ends up looking like an army, like a high-tech army weapon, which is the point. I don't like the voice. I never did. I've always said I don't like the voice. I'm not like trying to hide that or anything like that. But I think it actually does fit the Spectre very, very well. Those are my top 3. If I had to give an honorable mention, it's going to be a little tricky because Prelude to Chaos is a pretty good honorable mention, but then I also like Evori, then I also like Prime, so I don't know if there's one particular honorable mention I want to give for the Spectre. I think I'm just going to stick with my top 3. I can sort of no-brainer the Bucky here, and I'm actually going to give one to the Ion. It's crazy because I said that for the Frenzy, but the Ion Bucky is pretty classic, and to me, it's still such a good-looking Bucky. So you know what? It's getting it. Does the Origin not fit the Bucky so well? Like, it actually makes it look like a pretty cool shotgun. Is that me? I'm putting Origin up there. Maybe the Odie, but yeah, the Bucky's kind of slacking. Sorry, that wasn't a really good top 3. I guess this is okay. This is okay, but has some downfalls. This is okay, but has some downfalls. This doesn't look that great. Wait, Riot, what are you doing? Make some good-ass Buckies, bro. I don't care what anyone says. This is literally my favorite freaking judge in the game. I have still till now never enjoyed using a judge more than this. It's one of the Elder Flames that still work, that doesn't look weird to me. I don't know. It just feels smooth when it comes out. I feel the reload isn't super crazy, but still really cool and unique. I like the little finisher, and I love the sound. And I love both these variants. Low-key, this thing just looks like a menace. I usually don't like skins like this. I really don't. But on the judge, it's so menacing. Like, it is like Doom, bro. Like, you're playing the game Doom. So I'm going to put it here. And it's underappreciated, I think. Now, honorable mention, I'm going to give the Chrono Void. Chrono Void in general, again, maybe not overall, but I think the reload here is really cool. I think the collection is pretty cool. I think all the variants are cool, and I think it fits the judge well. It still looks like a judge, but that mystical high tech, the reload is cool. So I'm going to give it to honorable mention. The only reason I won't give it the third spot is just because Mist Bloom, in my opinion, the sound and the variants are really good. So, all right, going on to the Bulldogs, I am going to give a spot to Phase Guard. I think, obviously, it's overall very, very clean, and it's got a lot going on. I think Phase Guard itself does a good job at keeping the Bulldog looking like this crazy cool looking gun, right? Because the Bulldog itself, in my opinion, does look cool, and the aim down sight being on the side like that fit the Bulldog really well. And now, Prelude to Chaos has to be next for similar reasons, because like Phase Guard, still looks like a crazy cool gun, but then of course if you want less simplicity, more high sci-fi, there you go, you have it with Prelude to Chaos. It's really cool. I personally like it. Now, last Bulldog I'm gonna give it to outside these two is actually gonna be Cryostatus. I wouldn't pick Cryostatus Vandal over other Vandals, for example, but it is a unique skin. It does have a unique finisher. It slowly builds up ice that shatters when you shoot, and it fits the Bulldog so well. When I crop out how the Bulldog looks, it feels like I'm playing Metro Exodus, and I really like it. I genuinely think it's pretty cool. I think it's unique, and I do like how you wouldn't see it much. Okay, so for the Guardian, I gotta be honest, I don't like most of the Guardian skins. For some reason, I haven't seen like Guardian skin I really, really like. Like, for example, so bulky, I don't like it, even though I usually do like that skin. You know what I mean? There's this one, for example. This is supposed to be a new premium one. Goodness gracious. I just don't like it. You know what I mean? Just to make it clear. So I don't think many people are going to agree, but I'm actually going to give the first one to Gaia's Vengeance. And it still looks pretty bulky, but I like the color scheme and I like the way it looks. I'm going to give the next one to the Guardian. Same idea. I just think it's one of the few that actually hits pretty well, especially with the mechanism at the top having a lot of room to like space to breathe. Jeez, I don't even know if I have a top 3. I guess maybe the Araxis? The Araxis is okay. We'll give it to the Araxis due to the fact I like Araxis, but that just goes to show how little I care about the Guardian and all the skins. I really don't have strong opinions on it. I don't think any of these hit. Oh, there's so many! This is impossible! This is literally impossible. There's some to me that are no-brainers, 100%, and Champions 2024 is going to be one of the first no-brainers. I love this Phantom skin. Seriously, I really like it. So 100% Champions 2024 Phantom is going there. I'm actually going to go ahead and jump the gun. I don't want to put a double Champions. I think that would be lame. So I'm just going to put Champions 2022 in honorable mentions because I like the 2024 a little bit more. But I also like these. Like, to me, I play so well with them. I really like them. So I am going to be biased. I am going to enjoy them. This one's honorable mention. This is the first out of the 3 slots. Let's go for the last 2. I'm going to give the next spot to the Mist Bloom. And I actually spent a little bit looking through all the Phantoms again just to make sure that I was happy with this one. But yeah, I think I want to put Mist Bloom in the top 3, and I think that's going to be pretty controversial considering how many Phantoms there are. Crazy. I guess I'm just a Prime lover. I literally took another 3 minutes going back through before I wanted to make sure I wanted to give it to Prime, because I do respect the fact that people are going to like, yeah, 100%. I looked through all of them again, and seriously, even after doing so, just the sound effects and reload for me, and the color variants on this. I actually fell off hard on the Prime Vandal, so don't worry, you're not going to see Prime in the Vandal, but I love the aggressive coloring on these. I don't know. To me, they stand out. Crazy. Crazy, I know! I want to be called a basic bitch! Vandals next. Now, the Vandals have 3 champions, and I really like the champions, so it's going to be hard to 100% decide on one, to be fair. So I should be clear and say I like all three champions. Okay, I even like the Arcane. My Vandal taste is very, very different than most people, as you can tell based off just what I own. With that being said, between the three champions, I'm actually going to go with the Champions 2023 as my number one, and very, very close with the Champions 2025. I just really like the pullout of the Champions 2025, but I like how the 2023 looks a little cleaner, and something about it is really enjoyable, but still, this is an aimbot machine to me. These two seriously are my main Vandals, so I'm going to give it to the 2023 and then honorable mention the 2025 immediately. From there, the only singularity you're going to see is actually in the Vandal, and it's particularly, I think all the models are great, but this gold one is so sick. I genuinely like the gold singularity, so I'm going to give it the next spot. This one's going to be a little unpopular. I don't think a lot of people are watching this and being going, no, I don't like the singularity. I actually think it's very popular, but I think more so that there are some other Vandals people would prefer, but to me, I like the singularity. It's a nice mix of clean, but still has a lot going on. Phase Guard isn't going to make it, even though I like it. It doesn't speak to me as much as the others. Kuronami, you do not understand. I like the Sheriff, but this fell off so hard for me. Let me just say Kuronami was close. Okay, before I get a lot of hate, let me just say Kuronami was close. I'm actually going to give it to EXO. I think the EXO just brings a little bit more while still remaining clean like Kuronami. But I don't know. It's crazy. I wouldn't seen the day that I chose EXO. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I am gonna do melees, but I'm gonna do them at the very end. Why are these so low res? What, Riot? Wait, the marshals are so low res. What's going on, bro? I'm gonna give one to Gaia's. I actually really like Gaia's marshal, so let's just keep that nice and simple. I'm gonna give one to Neo Frontier. I think both I actually like this one the most. I think this, bro, that's so clean. I might one day buy this one. No, I'm not gonna buy skins again. But yeah, this one's clean. This one's 100% clean. So Neo Frontier for sure, as well as Gaia's. And for the honorable mention, I'm gonna give it to Nocturnum, because I actually think Nocturnum looks pretty clean, just a little bit too much on the scope, which is why it bumps down to honorable mention. However, I am going to give the third spot to Kuronami. Again, I'm not a Kuronami hater. There, like even here, the scope being that vortex kind of looking thing because of the storm, that's just cooler. You know what I mean? That's just cooler. Cool reload here on the back too. So yeah, to me, those are my marshals. That was pretty easy. Obviously, now we finally have a good amount of outlaws to talk about. I don't think it's exactly very difficult. Honorable mention to the RGX. I think it looks really clean. I actually do like the Phase Guard. Like, I like the Phase Guard because it looks like, I don't know, a weapon like out of Arc Raiders, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I really like that. I really like that. So, to me, it goes ahead and takes one of the first three spots, I think for some obvious reasons. I'm going to go again for EXO. Sorry, there's so much EXO. Seriously, I didn't think there'd be a day that I mentioned EXO this much. But on the Outlaw, it's not too hard when you don't have many options. Last but not least, I'm going to give it to the Araxis. This one looks really weird, but this, and this are really cool. And we just don't have grays, and that's why the Araxis to me is pretty cool. I think you could sub this with the RGX and sort of swap spots because it's really good, but it's more like to me near the honorable mention section where these two are really a class above their own in my opinion. As for the operators, I'm actually going to give honorable mention to the Elder Flame. I think it's the only other Elder Flame gun other than the Judge that I think is pretty cool. I think it fits really well. I like how the wings become a scope. It is a little too much, so I understand, so I'm just going to give it honorable mention. Next, going into one of the three spots is going to be the Operator. I mean, this is pretty old at this point. Like, there's even the OG all the way from the beta. I think it looks good. I think it's clean. I like the Reaver with a more slow, methodical hit, that like bassy sound. Like it's Reaver, let's say Sheriff almost made it. You know what I mean? Because of that. I didn't put it up there, but it almost made it because of that. And I think it fits the Reaver really, really well. So 100%, we got honorable mention and first out of 2. Taking over the list, bro. I'm so sorry, but Mist Bloom. I genuinely like the Mist Bloom, and I think the Operator is up here too. A lot is going on with the Operator, so maybe a tad lower. Similar to the Guardian, I don't feel the Operator holds that many skins as well, but I do think it does work pretty decent. And then I'm actually going to give the third spot, or I guess the last out of the 3, to the Forsaken. I actually really like the Forsaken op a lot, and I think it still holds itself really well. So actually 2 of these skins are quite old. Ares, bro. Who cares about the Ares? Okay. I would go Ion 100%, followed by Magepunk, and last but not least, Singularity. Yeah, I'm comfortable with those three. The Aries doesn't got much going on in my defense. So Odin is easy. Okay. Definitely Neo Frontier for one of them. The whole, like, the way it's, like, rolling at the front shit, bro, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Wait, damn, okay, so I need to be as honest as possible in these videos because I'm giving you my opinion. I'm not using community votes or anything like that. I'm gonna give it to the Evori Dreamwings as well as the Neo Frontier. Neo Frontier for sure is way ahead. Everything else is kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know. I can barely scrape a top 3. Definitely Reaver's the next one. So if I just needed to be as unbiased as possible and just give, oh, those are what I'm seeing, that's what I like. Reaver, Neo Frontier, Evori Dreamwings. Last but not least, we got the Melee. Now Melee, I'm going to be doing top 5, not top 3. I'm going to jump the gun and give an honorable mention to this because I think it's the only good scythe in the game that turns into a clean knife. So just to make it clear, that is pretty freaking cool. So I'm going to give honorable mention, but we still have 5 spots. So I'm going to jump the gun on that one because I know I don't want it in the top 5, but I want to give it an honorable mention. Admittedly, one of the 5 spots is going to go to Kuronami. Again, as much as I'm like not crazy about Kuronami, the Melee really does stand out. Like, it's a perfect mix of clean but flashy because you've got the double, and it's pretty much the only double-handed Melee people actually like. So I will respect that, and I won't be blind when I see Kuronami like this in all variants. It's looking good. So 100% they cooked with the Kuronami. I will give it 1 out of the 5 spots without thinking much of it. This is where I stray very far from popular, like what people really like. I love the Ignite fan. I am not joking when I say people forget it exists, but I really like it. I am not joking. Both variants to me look pretty and cool at the same time, and you just don't see people use the fan. And then there's this fan that just looks so cool. There's nothing I can say that will convince anyone to agree with me, and that's okay. That's fine. It is my opinion, and my opinion to hold proudly. I am giving Ignite fan a spot. I don't care. I really freaking like this fan. I don't know why I don't only equip it sometimes. Seriously, that's how much I like it. Just because it's a mix of me liking it and not seeing much of it. And oh my goodness, I am ready to keep pissing people off with my Melee skins, bro. I love my Melee skins, but I know no one agrees. The next spot, I'm actually going to give it to the VCT lock-in. Now, I got to keep it clear. This or Zero Fang, okay? And I think a lot of people would prefer Zero Fang. I don't like the outline of this one, but before the outline, when it's still like this, I prefer this. Like, I think this looks cooler than Zero Fang. I like that simplicity mix. I think it looks unique, that's all. I think Zero Fang's really clean too, though, just to make it clear. But I'm personally going to go with this one for my 3rd spot. And I'm pretty happy with it. Genuinely, I'm pretty happy with it. Now, for the next skin, I'm actually going to go with the Champions 2024 Blade. There's a lot of blades in this game, don't get me wrong, okay? And you know I'm not super biased because I've chosen a lot of different skin lines throughout this video. But this is the only blade. One, I love black, gold, and blue. Or sorry, black, gold, and white. I love it. And then second, it's the only blade, only Melee at all that you can put a buddy on it. And that's pretty cool. Being able to put a buddy on the Melee till now is unique to it. So in my opinion, I like to put the Champions 2024 blade up there. Now with my last spot, it would be good to put either a Karambit or a Butterfly Knife, okay? I think both of those would be a good spot. Now between the two, I have to admit, I'm going to add a bonus honorable mention, and I'm going to go ahead and do it to this Karambit, the OG. Very old now, I know, but I really like it, and to me it speaks to me on simplicity level. But because it's overly simple, it only gets that slight glow, and then to me this one sort of fell off in my eyes. I think it's too much, so I feel like we either have too much or too little, and the rest are a little bit mid. I think a lot of people would put this in the spot, and I understand. Not my thing. Seriously, not my thing. So I'm giving this Karambit the honorable mention, and I'm giving the last spot to the 2025 Butterfly Knife. I think out of all the Butterfly Knives in the game, most are actually pretty good, and I'm just a fan of the color scheme of Champions. I do like the Champions skin line. They are overpriced as shit, and it just doesn't matter. I like them visually from a standpoint. They speak to me on that style. They're perfect mix of clean and cool. And those are my melees. Overall, most people are going to disagree with my opinions, and that's totally fine. As of 2025, those are my favorite skins for every single gun. Top 3 plus honorable mention. Melee's top 5 plus 2 honorable mentions. I think it's decently clean overall, but hey, a lot of times people ask for just my opinions, and now you've got it. Most of you are going to want to go back to community votes, and don't worry, those videos will come back eventually. But as of right now, you got to hear me yap, and you can all type L opinion in the comments down below.